So I'm recording this as well. Yesterday, where we stopped was we talked about inserting sound clips in HTML. Apply styles to text within a web page. Obviously, what it means is that, let me open the viewer, that obviously if you make some tags, you need to implement them like heading tag, H1, H2, H3, paragraph tag, right? Before I continue, I'd just like to discuss one more point. What I'll do is I will discuss 2 points, then I'll continue with the syllabus. One is about the table, how to define table head, table foot, and T body, T foot, and T head. Please listen to this carefully. I'm recording this as well, so I'll upload this as well. So let's say what if I do is, the reason why I want to open up in split is because I would like to have you to have a look at the coding as well. Can all of you see my screen and you can hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay.
Sir, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
बीच में रुक गई थी आवाज. It's fine now.
Because this is the reason why I'm also recording it. So inshallah by evening I'll also upload it. So anyway, you miss out any part, you can have a look at the recording again. Okay, you can do that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'll upload it. So if I add a table, let's say if I add a table and if I use this none option, and let me say I have 4 rows and let me have like more rows and 2 columns. Here we go. We have. So let me just extend this a bit. Now what I will do is the first row that I have over here, the first row, this is my TD. Okay. What I can do is I can simply define this as T. Well, I'm so sorry. Well, I can define it as TH, or I could even do is I could define this as T head over here. That's another way, and I could probably close the TH over here. The T head over here. Then what I want to do, so the first row is my T head. Then I would like to do is from here to here. Okay.
I have a question that if we want the whole row to be the header, so instead of writing TR, can we write TH over there?
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. In fact, let me do something. Let me not do it this way. You will get confused. Let me just simply add this option in which the first row is my T head. No problem with that. These from here to here, we'll have it as a T body. Okay, so I can define the T body starting from here and probably till over here. I have is my T body. Then the last row that I have over here, the last row, I'll define it as T foot, and till over here, I can have my T foot. So we have this as T foot. We have all this as T body, right? Just one thing I did wrong was that this is not supposed to be here, it's supposed to be over here. So there we go. We have our T body, we have our T head and T foot, as you can see. So we have defined, I repeat again, I have defined this within my T foot. I have defined these rows within the T body, and I've defined this as TH. Agree with me? And obviously what I'll do is I'll just save it as on the desktop. I'll make a folder. Remember always to save your work in a folder. Everything should be in a folder. I'll name it as index.html and I'll save it. Now we'll create a CSS file, new, and we'll make a CSS file. So I'll go into window, CSS styles. And over here, as you can see, I'll click on new CSS style and I'll create some tags. The first tag that I would like to create will be my T head. So I'll select from here is T head, which is TH, by the way. So here we go. Okay. So what I would do is I would define over here just the background. So the background color would be, let's say, green, and I'll apply. That's all what I'm doing right now, just to experiment. Then I would do is, I would define over here is the T body. So I'll select a tag. The concept needs to be really clear what we're doing. Then we select is the T body. So you'll find T body over here. T body, which is table body. And the table body over here needs to be, let's say, let's make it blue. And I'll apply. Lastly, the bottommost row is our T foot. So I need to find over here is a tag that says T foot, and there should be one. And there is one, T foot. Okay. And let's say the row that comes in T foot, I would like that to be, let's say, red. And I'll apply. I'll just save this. I'll save it as, in the same folder, I'll name it as my.css. Right. Obviously, the HTML file that we have has to be connected. So I'll connect this with the CSS file. And I'll say OK. Now, as soon as I do so, you can see is we can preview this in the browser as well to see if it's working. So I'll yes, it's working. Well, you might be saying, why was it not being shown over there? Well, I told you last time that what you see is not always what you get. You have to view in the browser to finally see if it's working or not. So you just can't stick to Dreamweaver over here and say it's not working. What should I do? You have to view in the browser. I'm telling you again and again. Okay. So always what you see is not what you get. So the final output that we got over here, as you can see, forget about the height of the first row. The point is that the first row that we have is green, as we defined it as T head. The next are your body, and the last two rows I defined them as T foot. So I basically categorized my table into three different sections as T head, as T body, and as T foot. This did not come in any of the past papers till now, but obviously we need to practice this and we should be aware of this very, very well. Is everyone okay with the concept?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, these are all those points, I would call them advanced point, whatever you may call them, but they are all those points that have not come in the papers. So we're not depending on the papers. We are absolutely doing all the papers, but we should make a note of all these things. So yes, I'll just go back to syllabus because that will not take time, but these things I wanted to discuss. The next thing is about classes. Before I go back to the syllabus, I want to discuss classes with you. Why do we need classes? Well, again, I need to create an example for classes first. Okay. The password to download Dreamweaver. Oh, I did tell you. Sorry, I did not. It's if you go to my website, mishsan.com, in A level you'll find downloads. This is the password you have to enter. Okay, Khadija? It's working. I tried it last night. Did you try it recently? It is working. Try it. I'll get back to it. It was working on my computer. Okay. So what I want to discuss the next point is about the classes. Okay. So I will discuss classes in a different way. Again, I will refer to a table example to represent classes. Well, it's a very simple concept. First, let me say I have is okay. Anam, beta, I did not check your papers. So I did tell you that on Saturday I will check your papers. I just did not get the time because the send-ups are going on. That's why I just did not catch up. So Saturday, inshallah, I'll tell you your marks, right? Okay, so what I do is, let's say I'll come here and we'll say this. This. Whoa, why is it deleting this? Is the heading 1. This is another heading 1. Yet we have another heading 1. Now, technically speaking, I can assign this as heading 1. Okay. I mean, what I mean is I can select this and I can assign this as heading 1. Perfectly fine. Then if I want to define this as a different heading 1, for example, someone says, you know what, you're supposed to create 3 different kinds of heading 1. Okay. They're supposed, one's supposed to be green, one's supposed to be blue, one's supposed to be red. How am I supposed to do it? I mean, but I have only heading 1 over here. I don't have 3 different kinds of heading. Yeah, I have heading 2. I have heading 3. Okay. So for that we can use classes, or we can use it even in tables. Okay. For example, you want to make a different kinds of table. Okay. Let me give you that example. That will be much more clear. I'll come to this again. For example, if I make 3 tables over here, and I will say, you know what, I want you to define me the styling of a table in CSS, and the background of the table should be this color. You would say, yes, I can do it. I can go to CSS and I can define the table tag. So what you'll do is you will go to CSS. You will go to CSS and you will say, okay, right, I know what to do. I will create is a tag, and I know that there's a tag of table. Fine. And you will define over here. And you will say, okay, fine. You want, what do you want? You want a background green of the table. I've done that. And whatever text I type should be blue, so on and so, whatever. I've done that for you. So this means, let me just save it. This means whenever I will create a table over here. Exactly, well done. So I've done it. But no, I said no, this is not what I want. You to create me different kinds of table. One for standard, one for executive, one for gold member, something like that. So I create another table. But this is again green. I want one table to have a background of blue, one green, one yellow. But this has to be done through the definition of table in CSS. That's what the question is. So what do I do? Did you get my point? So we have a limitation over here. While using tags, we have a limitation because we just have one table tag, and there is just one table tag in CSS that I can define. I don't have table 1, table 2, table 3. Do I? Do I have it over here? Okay, I don't. You get my point? Anyone who has a confusion this, what I'm trying to explain, that why are tags limited? What is the problem with tags? Why do we have to turn over to classes? Okay, so since we have limited tags, I repeat, we have limited tags, there is another option, which is how to make classes. In classes, you can make as many categories and formats of table tags you want. Table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, or heading 1 format, heading 1 format 1, heading 1 format 2, heading 1 format 3, whatever you may want. It means classes gives your CSS a lot more options. Okay, it's a much more powerful feature that enhances the capability of CSS. So classes does enhance a lot of capability within CSS. That is a fact. Now, what do I mean by that, all of you? Let's talk about it. Once I'll do it, first of all, did you get the limitation of CSS as we refer to tags? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So I have a problem. Like the examiner said that you're supposed to make 3 different kinds of tables, and one table will have a black background, one will have a yellow background, and one will have is a red background, and you have to define the table definition in CSS. I can't do it with only with CSS. I have to work with classes. How would you do that? I'll simply delete this and I'll go back to my CSS. Please listen carefully. So I'll define new, and within new, I will remain within classes. So we have been discussing tags. We don't have to discuss ID, forget about that. We don't have to discuss compound, forget about that. So tag and classes. Tags we have, classes we have not. So I click on class. I'll say over here is, okay, you know what, let's have table uh, for standard members. Okay, table for standard members. Okay, so you said that the table for standard members should have a background of yellow, and whatever text that anyone types in should be of blue. Okay, fine, I've done that. And you see, when you define a class, it starts with dot. So dot table format, this means dot means it's a class. Tags don't start with a dot. That's the first way you can tell. Okay, let me define another class. So new class, let's have table for mat for gold members. And let's say the gold members are supposed to have black background and the text that will be typed inside will be white. Okay. And I'll make another one, no problem with that. And I'll say I want another table format for silver members. And this will be, let's say the silver is supposed to be, let's say, gray. And the text that you type in should be blue. And apply. And I'll save it as. So we have created classes, a dot, dot, and dot. These are three different classes. Now, how do I implement this? Well, it's pretty easy. I can simply select this, and I can say select table for members. Or like I can do is, hold on. Has it been implemented? Let me check. No. Let me select this and let me make this as gold members. Why not selected? Any part. Strange. Once.
Sir, maybe it will appear in the browser.
No, one second. Let me just check something. Yeah, maybe, but it should be. If there's some wrong with the mouse, something, it's not selecting individual. So anyway, let's say I want to, it should select even the entire thing. I'll do that for you as well. Well, how is it working? You see, this particular row, if you talk about this particular row, TR, class, we have defined this as which class? Table format for gold members. Like, as you can see over here, this is how this has been defined. So let's say if I want to define this entire table, very simple, I could simply come over here and I could say Control V. So if I do that,
Sir, how is class different from tag?
I'll just tell you, listen better, let me do it again over here. Let me add another table, you'll just get an idea. Let me say okay. And exactly what I did over there was, there we go. Let me just add a space. Table format silver. Okay, let me do it this way. And and let me add another one, and let me make it of the same size around, so that I can tell you the difference. And I would simply right click, because my that click is not working. Right click, CSS styles and table format for gold I did, silver I did, standard. Let me preview it in the browser. So as you can see, the first table is different. It's for gold, silver, and standard. 3 different tables. Now, if I would have done this just using CSS, I would have been limited just to one table like I started. Now, with the help of classes, what I've done, look over here. If I click on this table width, this much, table height, this much, border is 1, and class. This means that this table is defined according to this class. This table is defined according to this class. And lastly, this table, if you click on this, is defined according to this class. Did you get my point? Did you get the point that initially when I started with the lecture, I did tell you that there's a limitation with classes, that I can only define one format of the table tag. In CSS, I insist in CSS. I'm not talking about HTML. So with the help of CSS classes, you can define as many table formats, and you can simply define class is equals to this, class equals to this, class equals to this. That's it. Keep on doing it. Please again have a look. If you have a problem, let me know. Did you get it? If you have any doubt, let's talk about it. You got the point? Why is there a limitation with tags that CSS does help us?
Yes, sir.
No hesitation, beta. Think over it. What have I done today? Why have I discussed classes? You should have the concept clear. We are not cramming, please. We are not cramming anything. Anyone? I'm waiting. Okay, fine. Sure. So this is about classes. Now again, classes did not come in any of the past supers. So how do we practice? Yeah, I will share my activities with you. You need to go through my activities and you can practice through those, because this has not come in the past till now. So classes is very important topic. We should be aware of it. We are not going to forget it. There's a lot of probability classes might come this time, so we should know it. Okay, it's very much in the syllabus. Keep in mind, it's not out of the syllabus. Okay, I'll go back to the syllabus and let's continue with that. Okay, so we were here. Apply styles to text. This is using tags. We've done that. Apply styles to list including order. We did discuss it yesterday. Okay. Insert an appropriate image into web page. Okay, let me just continue with this part. That's also really important. Oh yeah. Adding of sound clips. Give me.
Sir, can you repeat the difference between class and tag? My internet cut off.
Different kinds of.
What is the difference between class and tag? My internet cut off at the exact moment.
Okay, but I'll get you to repeat the entire thing, but the entire lecture is being recorded. Would you like want to hear the lecture, or should I repeat all over again? I don't know.
I'll watch the lecture.
Okay, you can get back to me. Okay, right? Okay, beta. Right?
Okay, sir.
But surely get back to me if you don't get it through the video recording. Okay? Do let me know. Okay? Sound. One second. Sound. I do have one. MP3 and yeah, this is. We will join back, inshallah. This format is an MP3. Ooh, we're lucky, man. There we go. See. Obviously you can't listen. Can you listen to what I'm playing? If I play this?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you can?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I will place this inside web and let's experiment this. So I will name this as just dreams.mp3 and let me go to let me just come here. Let me just get rid of this. Let me get rid of all of them. So let's simply come here and just add embedded source. Let's browse and just dreams and let's close it. Click here. Let me just review this in, okay, and here we go. Right? So that's the way it works. So if you had a video, if you had an MP4 video, would have worked in exactly the same way. Okay. As far as I know, we can even define is the height. There's no point of defining the height and the width with an audio file, but obviously with a video there will be. So let's say you're working on a website and you want to upload a movie or something over there in video. It does make sense. So yeah. So we do have it, but yeah, it's fine. But like I said, audio doesn't make much of sense if I talk about it. Yes, is it clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Right. That's how we can insert it. Let me continue with the syllabus thing. Okay, yeah. Working with images. Yeah. Just 1 second. I just need some images which I need to put in this folder. Give me just 1 second. I just need some images. These are. I could probably use this. Yeah, I'll use this. Now we have to talk about images in bit more detail. Okay, with Photoshop. So I have one.jpg. The size of this seems to be quite small. It's 142 KB. Yeah, that's the original size. So let's say you do know that the size of my screen that I'm working with is basically 1600 by 900. This is my display screen right now, 1600 by 900. So the size of this image, that I just brought in over here, this image, is 1040 by 780. It's less. It's less than 1600 by 900. So this means if I insert this image as a background, so if I go to page properties, or I can even add it through CSS. I could do it through CSS. I could just get rid of all this. I could add is a tag, body, and in the body tag, I could add browse, and here you go, apply. File save. And then if I come here, and if I obviously view this in the browser, the image is appearing, but with tiling, you see tiling is appearing. The reason why tiling is appearing, obviously, because I just told you the size of the image is smaller than the size of my screen resolution. If my screen resolution size and my image resolution size was the same, then tiling would have not appeared. Yes or no? Exactly, right? So if the examiner says that make sure that your screen resolution and your image resolution matches and there's no tiling, there are two ways we can deal with it. The first way is that if you don't want any tiling, you can simply come into CSS, but you have to read the question carefully in that case. You can edit this, and you can simply say over here is background repeat, and say no repeat. That my background, I don't want my background to be repeated. Okay, fine. I'll just save this. So if I preview this in the browser again, I could obviously press F12, F6, sorry. I have it in the background. It's in the background. It's not the image at the top, it's in the background, but it's not being repeated. So yes, we can do this. We can, obviously you have learned this before, that we can make it repeat vertically, horizontally, yes or no. Do you remember that? Do you remember that, all of you? Or if not, give me a second. For that, I need a much smaller image. 1 second. Okay, we have this. I just need a smaller image. Is this? No, it's big. Much better. But this is JFIF. Which format is this? Anyway, I can use it. Copy, and I'll place it here. I hope I'm not talking to myself. Am I? You with me, all of you?
Yes, we are with you.
Okay. Good.
Yes, sir.
Good. So I have download.jfif. What I'm trying to say over here is that let me just add over here is download.jfif. It's a very different file format, just recently came in. So I have this and it's appearing in the background and there's no repeat. What I was insisting is that instead of no repeat, if I say over here is repeat x-axis in my CSS file. In my CSS file, if I say repeat x-axis, this means it will repeat, as you can see, it's repeating on x-axis. And if I say over here, repeat the background y-axis, it will obviously repeat in y-axis. Are you following me all the way down?
Yes, sir.
So if we want only one picture on the entire web page, we have to change the screen resolution.
Yeah, I'm just coming there. So the point is, yes, you're right. We will change the screen resolution. You're absolutely right. But we cannot change the screen resolution during the exam. That's the point. This point came long time back, 10, 12 years back. But obviously in scans, they cannot allow students to change the screen resolution. So this question cannot come now. They can ask you to change the size of the image background, or they can ask you to repeat or no repeat. That's it. You get my point? But they can't ask students to go and change the screen resolution. That is totally out of syllabus. They can't give everyone the admin rights. Aisa nahi ho sakta. This will not happen. Don't worry about that. Okay? So we can have repeat, no repeat, or whatever in the background. That works. But let me come back to your question. You want is that I want the background to appear totally. What I mean is totally. I want the background to appear in full screen. Then what should I do? What should I do then? Anyone can tell me. What can I do? I cannot change the background, the height, you know that. And by the way, I'm sure all of you do know one thing, that background is something else and image is something else. What I mean to say is, let's say, if I insert over here is 1.jpg. This is my background. And if I come here and if I insert this image, come on, I had the image. Why doesn't it recognize that? JFIF. Okay, here we go. I hope it appears.
Sir, should we join again?
Yeah. Let's join again, please. Just join again.
Okay.
Yeah, please. All of you join again.